Good morning, crafty friends. Sparkle here, and we are continuing on our journal folio for our design team project for September for Rach and Bella Crafts. And here again is my folio cover. It needs to be decorated yet, but I just wanted to put some things in place. And I started to line my pages. I did some stitching, and I added some washi tape for some reinforcements. So these I need to continue on yet. But I wanted to make some of the goodies for the inside. So I talked about this the other day about doing this Japanese stab stitch on a little book, and that'll fit nicely inside our portfolio pocket. So that's what we'll work on today. And also a little pouch out of vellum, and that can hold some of our goodies in the other side pocket. So let's do this folio first, little book. So what I did was I cut out from the kit pages that were approximately 5 by 4. Okay, and I just cut out some blank pages. Let's go the right way. So we have some splattered pages from the other day when I did my Bible journal, and some paint or coffee dyed paper. This is from the kit. Vellum from the kit. All kinds of paper. So you get the idea. Just cut out however many sheets you want. And I rounded the corners. And I'm going to ink them, but I can do that later. So I should ink those edges. So what I thought we would do was I'll show you this process, okay? So I'm just going to take the cover, and I'm using my Tim Holtz ruler. Or no, it's not Tim Holtz, I'm sorry. It's just an X-Acto ruler. So I want to find the center. Okay, I'm just going up about a 1/2 inch, and I'm drawing a pencil line. Okay, I do better with lines on this one for my stitching. And then I'm just going to go from the center here. I want to end up with 4 holes. So I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want 4 holes. I should put them on this line here. I should put them on my line. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to put little X's because they're hard to see on this paper. And yeah, you can erase it when you're done, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so I have my marks here. So I want to take a book and a pokey tool or an owl, and I'm going to take several of these pages. I don't like that one. I rounded these off. I don't like the way that one's sticking up. Okay. So make sure they're all flush. and you're going to poke your holes. Just make sure they went through. Let's just paper clip here. Yeah. See, I want it. All right, well, I did my spacing a little different on this one, and that's okay. It'll be fine. There's many different ways you can apply this binding. We're just doing a very simple stitch. So then you take the next batch, make sure everything's lined up. And get these poked through. Okay. And we have the last batch here. One, two, three, four. And then you just want to make sure you get them all back. Oops, so sorry. Make sure you get them going back in the same direction, okay? Okay. That's our front, that's our back. Oh, that one's upside down. So, yep. Yeah, if you have a pattern, you got to make sure it's going the right direction. I think I lost my back page. Well. Oh my goodness. Well, this goes here. Oh, I don't know what I did, but that's what it's going to be. So, want to make sure all my holes are where they belong now. I'm just going to run this through here real quick. This isn't complicated. Okay. So I'll make sure my holes were lined up okay. Okay. We'll put that there. We'll put a couple of these binder clips on, and we'll be good to go. So I'm using some linen thread, and it's white, so I'll probably dye it when we're done with some ink. So I just do about 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you don't use a knot. And for this one, we're going to come up from on this hole, number 2 from the bottom. So you want to find the middle, roughly. So I'm just going to say this is the middle. So you want to come up through the second hole. Okay. And then leave a tail. Just leave your tail. You don't worry about that. So you're going to come up at 2. And then you're going to go around 2 and go back in the same hole. Okay. And you might have to go through stages because this is pretty thick cardstock. Just take your time. Okay. Okay. Then you're going to go down at 3. So you got 1, 2, 3. So you're going to come down at 3. And wrap around and go back down at 3 again. Then you're going to come up at 4, which is the one on the end. And again, you got to work your way through the holes. And you're going to go around number 4 and come up again on the bottom of it in the same hole. Now you're going to go around the edge here and come back in hole number 4. Just takes a little bit of practice, okay? And that's why I like this pencil line here, because you have a little guide here. So now you're going to go back here in hole 3, but you've already gone around it. So you're just going to come back in where you started, hole 2. And go back in hole 1. Then you're going to go around back in here. And you're going to come up on the side and go back in hole 1 again. And now you want to come up at 2 where you started, but you only want to go to where, let's take these off. You only want to go to the center where you have the tail. So take these off. Okay, so here's your tail. So you want to come up where the tail is, okay? So you're going to come up here, and you're going to end up where the tail is. Okay? Now we need to tighten up. Tighten up your stitches to get them to look nice. And let's see. So you might have to play with it a little bit, just see how it's all nice and even. If you've got any stragglers, you can trim that, but we're going to ink all this up, so it's not going to matter. So once you get it tight the way you want it, I might just go in and tighten these up a little bit. So we're going to do it again, just so you can see the concept, okay? So I'm going to find my end, and we're going to take them out. And you will learn by doing, okay? I've done the stitch several times now, and it all matters on your placement, okay? Wherever you place your holes, you can do different designs and things, but we're just going to do this one to practice once again. Okay, so, and you can make yourself a little cheat sheet this time around if you want. I'll give you the numbers and stuff. I split my thread here earlier, so that's why I was having trouble there. All right, so we will put a paper clip here because that's where I'll say that I want the center to be. And then we'll put these in order and put a couple clips on here. And get your wax thread. Okay, so this time you're going to number your holes, okay? Starting with the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're coming up at hole 2 in the middle, and I already put a paper clip there. So just come up at number 2 and leave a tail. Okay, leave a tail at number 2. Then you're going to go around number 2 from the bottom. So now you're going to secure that. Okay, oops. Don't want to lose my tail. I want a little bit more tail. Okay, I like to see it out there. Okay, so that was 1, 2. Then you're going to go down at 3. Around 3. And just keep it taut. Okay, 3. Then you're coming up at 4. Up at 4. Everything's nice and tight. Around 4. Back up through 4. Oops. Then you're going to go on the side and back into 4. That just makes a nice edge, okay? So now, we don't need these anymore. Now you're going to go back down 3. But you've already wrapped it, so you don't need to wrap it. You're going to come up at 2. And 2 is already wrapped. You're going to go down at 1. And you're going to come around 1. So you're wrapping 1. Okay? Then you're going to come around the side and go back down at 1. And then we're at the beginning. So you're going to come up at number 2, but you're going to just end it where the tail is, okay? So you're going to come up 2, and you just got to look inside, and you're only coming up, here's the tail, and that's where you're coming up. Now everything should be nice and tight except the last few stitches. So let's just tighten them up. Okay, these are together. So make sure you're satisfied with everything. It looks good here. It looks good here. So You can just tie these off. I don't think I'm going to add anything to them. But if you were going to, you could leave them longer and add a charm or something. But because they're going to be inside my folio, I don't want to put anything on them. So then I would go through, and I won't do this here, but I would get this all linked up and distress that real good. And I was going to put, I have a doily here. Bring that up a little bit. And I'm just going to glue that on here with one of my flat embellishments that we're making. Okay? And this is just 2 paper circles cut with a 1 1/4 inch and a 1-inch punch. And then I'm using the encouraging words from the kit and just a little flower. Okay, so that'll be that, and that will fit nicely in here. Okay, I wanted to match it, so that'll fit nicely in there. Now, I'll just show you the little pocket, because that's very easy to make. So that is a piece of the vellum, piece of the pattern from the kit that I printed on vellum, and again I use the thickened vellum paper. It's for laser and inkjets. This is what I use, and it prints beautifully. There's no smear. I love it. So this is just, you can make it as big as you want. You're simply going to sorry. On the bottom of the piece, I'm just going to do a 1-inch seam, a 1-inch score line. And then I'm going to just roll it together, okay? Just roll it. And I know this is the size I want because this is what fits in my book. Okay? And I don't use a bone folder on vellum, I just use my hand. Okay. We're going to leave it double folded just because I'm going to have a lot of stuff in there, but you could cut the edges closer and you're just going to glue this down. But before you do that, I want to cut off these 2 ends. So it's not so bulky. Okay, we can fold this up. And I'm just going to angle these 2 edges here. Get that cut off there. So this is going to get make sure it's even, and this will get glued here, and this will have a bead of glue here. But first I want to cut it, okay? So I want to make sure it's going to fit in our book. And I wanted that paper in here. So yes, it'll fit, but I want to take some off the top. So all I'm going to do is use my decorative scissors. And I'm just going to cut up here by the line here as my guide. Now I want to make a tab in here, and I'll take my 1-inch hole punch, but I'm going to put a piece of paper behind it. And cut it with this. Otherwise it's hard for the vellum to cut through with the hole punch. So we've got our thumbnail. I need to cut this. It's bothering me here. Okay. So you just want to run a bead of glue down here. And I'll put a bead over here. I made this one a little thicker because I want to put some stuff in there. I want to trim this piece off down here. Okay. This will dry clear, no worries. So then, this is off center. So I'll need to fix that. I'll just have to make it a little bit bigger. It's a little bit better. I could work on that later. And you can ink the edges, but then this is going to go in here. So we have a little pouch to put our goodies in. And we have our little book, little journal that we can write in, decorate. And we're going to add more embellishments to it later. I just wanted to show you the process. So there you have it. This is part 3 of our design team project from Rach and Bella. So have a blessed, beautiful day. Bye.